So I once went to this really cool math art exhibit in Germany, and they had this really cool painting. And once I started looking into the math of it, I realized it played off of sequences. And so I want you to come up with a little art project that plays off the sequences like this one does. And I'm going to show you two examples, but I want you to think about how can you make this work for your own. So the one in Germany was built like this. So it had it was invisible squares, so that you couldn't see the squares, and I'll include a picture in the slides. But you couldn't see the squares. But basically, what it did is it took this object, this rectangle, and it's playing off of this sequence. So the sequence is going by twos, but I'm going to work my way down. I cut this as a 32 by 32 square here. And so my sequence is going to go like this. It's going to be 32. I'm going to cut that in half, and I got 16. I'm going to cut that in half. I've got 8. Cut that in half. I've got 4, then 2, and then I'm going to stop with 1. So the sequence is based off of a geometric sequence where I am multiplying by 1/2 every time, starting at 32 and ending at 1. So what I'm doing is I'm basically taking and horizontally I'm going to count up half of it. So this is all 32 all the way. So I'm going to count to 16. I've already marked them, but yours aren't going to be marked, of course. And I'm going to draw a line. And now I've cut it in half. And so I am going to color each half a color. Okay. So I color this half. I'm going to do this yellow. And this is the part where you're going to have to use artistic skills. Your art teacher tells me that you already know how to blend your colors together, so I'm trusting you on that. And so I don't know how this is going to turn out. I'll show you my first one I did. I wasn't all that excited about it, so I have to think more about what my colors are going to be. But here is my first color, coloring that half, and then I'm going to color the other half, another version of yellow. It's kind of hard to tell, I'm sure, on the camera, but this is just maybe a little bit of a brighter yellow. Okay, so I get my first one. You're going to spend way more time, but I don't want to spend all my time coloring for you. Okay, so then I'm also going to split it in half the other way. So I'm going to do 16 across here and split that in half. Now, if you draw your lines really thick or not, that's kind of up to you. Again, on the actual art piece, it wasn't drawn really thick. Okay, so now I have 4 of these, and so I kind of want to start doing some things a little bit differently. But I'm going to take each one of these, and now I'm going to continue to cut them in half, and so now I'm going to go down to the 8. And so what I'll do is I'll count from the center, I'll count 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And here is my center. And so I'm going to draw a line going across 8. And I'm going to do that on the bottom half also. I'm going to go 8, which I've already secretly marked here, although it's not marked very well. I wonder if I'm off in my counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I think my ones on the left might be off a little bit. So I'll just go with this. Okay, I'm off somehow, so you do a better job than me. But anyway, so I'm going 8 that way. And then I'm also going to do 8 from the center out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 from the center out. And then this way also 8. So I'm building this from the center. I'm going out 8. And now I'm going to take the next color in my gradient, and I'm going to try and do a good job doing a gradient here. We'll see how I do. And so I'm going to color this orange. So let's just, I don't know what I'm doing actually. You're going to have to think through the art part of this, but I'm going to color orange this way. And I'm going to color orange this way over the yellow. So we've got this kind of color combining here. And then for the other part of the 8, I'm going to change it up a little bit, and I'm going to go green here. So maybe you want to do your coloring a little bit differently than me. But on the left side, I'm going to go green. And maybe you don't all the way go all the way across. Maybe yours only goes half and you have like 4 quadrants here. And I'm going to go ahead and do green this way. So this is kind of like a limeish green color. Okay, so I'm leaving the outsides uncolored and then coloring my inside ones. And now I am going to go to my 4, right? So from the center, I'm going to go out 4. One, two, three, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So from this horizontal center also I'm going 4. And then horizontal center this way I'm going 4. All right. And then I'm going to take my next color in my gradient here. And let's see if I can remember. Okay, and so then here I'm going to color these 4. I've got kind of like a pinkish color. And so I'm going to color that in, going all the way down. And then on this one going across. So your artwork comes in. How are you going to color these and make them work? And then for the other side of it, I'm going to kind of go to this bluish color, I guess, and overlap it on the green and yellow that I had, going all the way down. So I'm going to start getting darker colors as I go in. And across. This is not how I colored my first one, as you'll see when I get done here, but it's kind of looking cool this way too. Okay, and then I'm going to go again, and this time I'm going to the 2. So from the center I count out 2. And then I can color those, my next color in my gradient. And so let's see here. I'll see how this goes. For my pink, it looks like I got this, oh, it's not coloring over very good. A little bit. So I've got this blue color that I've got going on. No, it's not going over very good at all, but you get the idea. There we go, a little bit better. And then on the other side, I've got a purple, which maybe I should have switched them up a little bit, huh? Purple on the other side, blue on this side, but whatever. Here we go. I'm gonna go with the colors I've got here. And then here. Now this inside is kind of getting icky, so I don't have the best choices of colors. Hopefully you have something better. And then I have to do down to 1, and so this is not going to look the best as far as my colors go already. I'm a little bit, I don't even know if I can get the pen to work, but you get the idea. You use our artistic skills, figure out how you're going to make this work and look really cool. And from the center, I get down to this last little bit and do 1 from inside. And then I'm going to see if maybe I can find just a nice dark color that I can go down the center with. No idea what color this is, so here we go. We might as well, right? All right, there we go. And so then I just color that 1 right there. Which one was I doing? I was doing on the pink. So that's a good center color, right? Okay, and then maybe I can find myself a nice dark blue in here. And so then I get that center one. This looks nothing like the original piece of art because, you know, that guy really actually knew what he was doing, or girl. But you get the idea. Plus, I was going really fast, so I didn't think through it too hard. I did this earlier, and instead of doing it like I did where it was half and half, and I kind of kept only two patterns, I did one earlier, and here I looked at each quadrant as having its own set of overlapping, so that I had kind of a cool little pattern there. And so that was based on this sequence. You could also do another sequence. So what I did is I said, what if I wanted to go by threes instead of twos? So I said, okay, let's do, instead of that, let me think about threes. So I go up by threes. So 1, 3, 9, 27. If I go to 81, I ran out of graph papers. So I just stuck with those 4. And I can't really do it in halves because of, well, I'm doing it in thirds. So I'm basically just going to do two sides of this. I have 27 across, 27 down. So what if I went in, I've already got the 27 taken care of, so now I go to the 9, and I count in 9, and I draw that one in. Ooh, a bad line. Okay, and maybe I do 9 on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so I draw one there. And how about I color these so I have two different colorings, right? So maybe I do yellow. I'm just going to quickly, I'm not going to color it all in. Maybe I do yellow there and I do green down here, right? And then I start changing it a bit, and I say, okay, now I'm going to go down to the 3, and I'm going to do 3 from the inside. And I mean the outside actually, and 3 from the bottom. So this is going to go pretty quick. So this one maybe I can spend a little bit more time thinking about how do my colors overlap and what are they going to look like, right? So maybe this is going to be maybe orange here, because I didn't give that a color before, did I? So think through the art and how do your colors overlap, and there's some really cool gradients that you can do here if you really think through it. And so maybe I make this section pink. But then as I go on the bottom here, maybe I'm going to make this one green. And how can I blend those two colors in, right? And then we have that final one of 1. So we have a lot less overlapping here, but it kind of still gives a really cool pattern. So think about how can you take graph paper and squares and these sequences, and how can you do some overlapping with some gradients and make it look really cool and pretty. And maybe you do it in a way that you don't have to draw these lines that I have, or you do it in a way that you can do it on, maybe you can do it on wax paper and I don't know, do some cool markering on there and have it over this so that when you lift it up you no longer have these lines there. So be creative, think about how you can do the markings so that you can just make a really cool piece of art. So I hope you have fun with that. If you want to do 4s, just remember you need to have enough squares to be able to get up there. So once you start getting bigger numbers here, if you're going by 4s or 5s, it's going to take a lot of squares. So maybe if you can find really small graph paper or something like that, you can do something really cool. But I hope you have fun with this and make some cool art.